Yes, hello. Okay. Yes, hello. Can you hear me? Rajkumar. Yes, Rajkumar, can you hear my voice? Yeah, okay, fine. Let me continue. Let me share my screen. Yesterday, we discussed here how to install Visual Studio Code in our system, how to run our first program we discussed. Here, we are in Web UI. In that, we started our first topic. Here, Web UI. UI here, it is a user interface. Here, in this time, so we are learning here HTML 4 and 5. Here, second topic here, CSS 2 and 3. Third topic, JavaScript. Here, fourth one, jQuery. Here, fifth one, Ajax. Sixth one, responsive design. Here, seventh one will be Bootstrap. Here, eighth one will be here, less and SAS programming. Here, ninth one will be here, project. 10th one will be exam. So like this, I explained all topics, brief information, and total duration of my course will be here next 2 months. Here, and everyday class, I'll share it with a drive. So I'll create one drive access for you. In that drive only, I'll upload everyday class files. Okay, I'll create one drive for your batch, 24th October 2024 at 9 p.m. So once I get your files, I'll upload it. Everyday class recordings I'm uploading in one drive. So you can check it, the drive for reference. Here I created one 9 p.m. drive for your batch. See, here, drive. See, here, 9 o'clock. See here, in this recordings folders up to now, yesterday's recording I have to upload. I didn't got from organizer. So once I get it, recording, I'll upload. But remaining files, paint files and documents, programs I uploaded in your drive. Here, paint files I uploaded up to 23rd. And programs, see, we not yet started, or did we started any program? Yeah, yesterday we started, I think. Yesterday we executed our first program. This one I'll upload. Okay. Here, so this is the drive I'm showing for you. Here, upload folder, documents, 9 o'clock, HTML4, open folder, upload folder, upload. Here, we started our first program HTML4 topic as a first topic, and under that only we are writing our first program. Here under HTML4, HTML is a hypertext markup language. Here hypertext markup language. Here markup means here it is a tag based programming. Here tag based programming. Tag is nothing but it's an instruction to browser. We can give our instructions to the browser in the form of tags. These tags are here, two types of tags we have. Here, one is paired tag, second one is here unpaired tag. Here, paired tag, whenever you write the starting tag, definitely you need to write closing tag. Unpaired tag will write the tag name, here itself will close it. This is unpaired tag. Add your mail address for drive access. Okay. Let me check your mail address. Is it there in this drive? In this list? Yeah, 9 o'clock list.
First three, no, don't.
Here, I have only two mail IDs. Okay, I have only two mail IDs here.
No.
Let but I didn't got your mail ID from organizer. So once I get it, I'll share this drive access with you. Okay, for these two mail IDs, I shared this drive. So this drive is shared with the two mail IDs. Okay, one mail ID here. So now let me get control. See here, paste. Yeah, this drive is shared with the two students. Here we got this HTML4. Under this, we have all these topics like this. Here we are in HTML4. We are learning here pair tags and unpaired tags. Here only you can find it here, doc type, HTML. Here itself, HTML start, HTML close. Under this, we can write it here, head start and close and body start and close. Okay. Here under this head section, whatever code will write it here, that is related to style tag and then script tag. Here style tag as well as script tag, we use it here to write this HTML content. Here to write this HTML content, here we are using here style tag as well as script tag. Here style tag, we use it here to write that CSS and JavaScript code. Script tag, we are using here to write JavaScript. Okay, style tag and then script tag. Inside the body tag, we can write it here, all HTML tags. Inside the body tag, we'll write it here, all HTML tags. Here, all HTML tags. Inside the body tag, whatever tag will write it here, those all list of tags, we'll use it here to write our HTML content. Here, to write our HTML content, here we are writing here HTML tags. Under this body tag, here we have some list of pair tags here. The pair tags are here. Here we are learning here HTML tags. That HTML pair tags I'm explaining here. So once you start the tag, definitely you need to close the tag. Here we have H1 to H6. H1 tag, H2 tag, H3 tag, H1 to H6 tags all comes under pair tags. Here paragraph tag is also comes under pair tag. Here div tag is also comes under pair tag. Here table tag is also comes under table of content. It is a pair tag. Here only you can find it here like this. We will write few list of tags all comes under pair tags. Pair means here once you start the tag, definitely you need to close the tag. Here that list of all tags are here. Here one is pair tags. These pair tags are here. Whenever you start the tag, definitely you need to close the tag. Example for this here H1 to H6. H1 by default it will show you 2 EM is the font size. H2 tag, if you check it here, that font size will be here 1.5 EM. Here H3 tag, if you check it here, that font size will be here 1.17 EM is the font size. H4 tag, if you check it here, that H4 tag is used to display, I see there is no font size for this, that is a default font size. H5 tag will show you, here H5 tag will show you 0.887 EM is the font size. H6 tag, if you check it here, so that font size will be 0.67 EM is the font size. Here P tag is used to display paragraph. I tag is for italic content. Here for every tag we have that tag related specific CSS. Here for every tag we have the tag related special CSS code we have. Here we are learning here all HTML tags. Here this list of all tags comes under pair tags. Here only we can write table tag is used to display table of content. Here like this, etc., etc. Some other tags we have, all comes under pair tags. Okay, all comes under EM is the measurement. 1 EM equal to 16 pixels. Here 1 EM equal to 16 pixels. Okay, so that way generally we'll write it. Here in this time, here for every tag, for paragraph also you can find margin, border, padding and all. Here for italic content also you can find it here, that related style. Every tag has its own special CSS code. Okay, next. Here, next I'm going for one more one here. It is about all pair tags. Here, next that list of all tags are here. Those all like this here, pair tags. Here, second category of tags are here, unpaired tags. Here, unpaired tags. That list of all tags are here. Here, whenever you start the tag, definitely you need to close the tag. Example for this here, image SRC is used to display images. Okay. Here, and BR tag is used to display break line. HR tag is used to display horizontal line. Then input type equal to text, button, radio button, all comes under input elements. Here, like this, we can write it here, input type equal to button, input type radio. Here, input type equal to radio. Here only you can find it here, input tags. Like this, you can find it here, all the list of input tags. Here, like this, you can find it, so many input elements all comes under pair tags. Here, pair here, whenever you start the tag, definitely you need to close the tag. That is what here, pair tags. Here, similar way, we can write it here, unpaired tags for our application. We are learning here, pair tags and unpaired tags for our program. Pair here, once you start the tag, definitely you need to close the tag. This is a pair tag. Here only we are writing here that list of all tags here. So how many types of image tag we can write? What will be the SRC? Those all you can check. Here now, open recent. I already explained how to install Visual Studio Code in our system and how to write our first program in VS Code we discussed. How to install Visual Studio Code in our system and how to run our first program in that VS Code. Yesterday I discussed that. Here we can go to the Google, search for VS Code. By that you can find one set of file of that VS Code. Here only you can find it here. If you go to the Google, search for VS Code, there you can find it here, VS Code dot, here set of file. Setup.exe file, you can find it. So once you double click on it, here couple of next buttons will be there. By that it will be installed in our system. So once it is installed in our system, automatically we can run our program with this VS Code. Here automatically we can run our program with this VS Code. Here we are going for Google, search for VS Code. There you can find it. One second. Here VS Code. Here once you click on the next button, it will be installed in our system. So after this, computer start button, search for VS Code. There you can find it here, file, open, folder option will be there. File, open, folder option. So by that, you can open your folder here. That is 9 PM folder. I created one 9 PM folder for our batch. Under this 9 PM folder, I created one HTML4 folder. Under this, I created one .html program. Here, under this, I created one .html program. Here, under this one .html program, Here under this 1.html program, you can see here it is doc type, HTML starting tag, ending tag. Here only you can write it here, head starting tag, ending tag, and body starting tag, ending tag. Generally, we'll write our basic standard code of HTML will be like this. To run this program, we will go for VS Code. There, extensions option will be there. Under this, search for live server. So once you click on this, here extension search for live server. So once you click on install button, here once you click on that in VS Code extension search for live server. So by this live server will be installed in our system. So it is installed in our system. VS Code is installed in our system. So here you can click on install button. So it will be installed in our system. So once this VS Code is installed in our system, automatically we can run our program. Here in VS Code, go for 1.html program. Just you can right click on it. So by that you can find it here, open with live server. Open with live server. So by this, you can run your program by live server. See here, this is one VS Code. Go to the file, open folder option will be there. Here, select our 9 p.m. folder. I only created one empty folder 9 p.m. Just select it. By this 9 p.m. folder will come into our application. After this, here under this 9 p.m. folder, see just right click on your program. Here under this 9 p.m. folder, we created one subfolder HTML4. Under this, we created 1.html. So when you right click, open with live server. So by this, your program will be opened in the live server. So here, this way you can execute your programs in the VS Code. Here, now I'm showing you that list of tags, what I have covered under pair tag, under unpaired tag. I'll show you one by one. I'll explain to you what all list of tags comes under pair, what all list of tags comes under unpair. One by one, I'll explain to you. Okay, here we are learning here that list of all tags, what all comes under pair tags, what all comes under unpaired tag. I'll explain to you. Okay, here now, see head tag, body tag, script tag, style tag, all comes under pair tags. Next one, here only you can check it here, H1, this is here, heading 1. Heading 1, heading 2, heading 3 like this, you can write it here, H1 to H6, all headings. H2, H3, H4, H5, then H6. Okay, similar way, you can find it here, H2, H3, 4, 5, 6. Here like this, we can write it here, all different headings. P tag is used to display paragraph. You can type lorem 5. See, H1 to H6, all different sizes of heading. P tag is used to display paragraph. Now, to run this program, right click, open with live server. See, this way generally will execute our program. Here only you can see welcome to HTML and that information, total information, all headings, H1 to H6, all headings and paragraph content. So all we can display for our program like this. H1 to H6 and here lorem information. This way you can display your output. So in this time, welcome to HTML, what I'm displaying here. See, I'm able to display with all different sizes of headings like this. H1, H2, H3 like this, we can write it here, H1 to H6, all different sizes of headings for our program. Okay, H1 will show you bigger size heading, H6 will show you smaller size heading. Okay, so here when you right click, inspect element on this, see here, now you can find it here, see here, H1, it is showing here display block font size 2 em. H2, if you check it here, 1.5 em. H3, if you check it here, 1.17. H4, no size. H5, 0.83 em. H6, 0.67 em. Em is a measurement. Along with this sizes, you can see that margins. Margin here, this is the gap. This is all CSS we will learn under CSS. But every tag has its own CSS in the browser. So browser is already defined with a particular tag with a particular CSS. So that's why it is displaying these all sizes. EM is a measurement. It is mainly used to write all one EM equal to 16 pixels. So you can display your output in pixels, and that 1 pixel equal to 1 EM equal to 16 pixels. So like that generally will show. Here in this time, I'm writing here all different sizes of headings for our application. H1 will show you bigger size heading. H6 will show you smaller size heading for us. Here H1 will show you bigger size heading. H6 will show you smaller size heading for us. Here P tag we use it here to display paragraph content. Here script tag we use it here for displaying here script tag we use it here for writing JavaScript code. Here this way we can write it. Style tag and the script tag we use it here to write that type of content. Here I'm writing here H1 to H6, all different sizes of headings for our application. Okay. P tag, if you check it here, see P tag, if you check it here, there is no particular font size for P tag, but it is displaying here some margins. See, you can find here top and bottom, you can see some gap. Here, this is because of this margins. Here, a one heading to another heading, you can see some gap. This is also by margin property. Under CSS, we have margin property. You need to remember these all. By default, browser will give all this. But just if you have idea on it, that will be enough. Okay, so here I'm explaining here pair and unpaired tags in our HTML. Pair tag, once you start the tag, definitely you need to close the tag. Then we call it as pair tag. Here unpaired tag. Here, pair tags and unpaired tags, we are writing here. That list of all pair tags. Here, once you start the tag, definitely you need to close the tag. That one only, we call it as pair tag. Here, unpaired tag. Here, a self-closing tag. Self-closing tag only, we call it as unpaired tag. This is pair tag, this is unpaired tag. So, all HTML tags will write like this. So in this HTML page, we are writing here H1 to H6 headings and paragraphs. So let's check it here. Are we using these headings in any website or not? If you go to the Zoom, see in this Zoom, you can check it here. Here in this Zoom, you can check it here. So some heading. So not in this Zoom. Here I'm going for visualstudiocode.com, Microsoft Visual Studio Code. Here Visual Studio, Microsoft Visual Studio. Here I want to go for VS Code. Here any heading, just right click. See here, this is one blue color heading. This is by H1 to H6, any heading tag. Here paragraph, this is one type of heading. This is one paragraph. Here this is smaller size heading, bigger size paragraph content. Here like this, we can use it here, all sizes of headings for our application. All sizes of headings for our application, we can show to the user by this. So once you refresh, all will display like this. This is what here, some heading. This is one more heading, smaller size heading, and this is paragraph content. Here, this is one left side content, and this is paragraph content here. Like this, we can write it here, all informations. See here in this website, if you check it here, left and right, it is showing one half part, it is showing one content, half part, it is showing another content. So this is possible by here, left side, it is showing one content, right side, it is showing here another content. This is possible by two column structure. This two column structure is possible by our Visual Studio Code. because of Visual Studio Code, we can able to display here. Because of div tag, you can divide your web page into multiple parts. You can use div tag to display this type of output. Here we are using here div tag to display this type of output. Here in this two column structure or a heading, this heading, if you check it here, this is all by heading tags only. See, if you want, you can check it. See H2. H2 is the heading here. We are using here to display that heading for our application. Okay. See, just before it is showed two column structure. Now it is single column. See, Visual Studio and Visual Studio Code both are displaying in within one column. Here, if you change your screen size here, that it will show you into two column. See here, for bigger screen, it is showing two column. For smaller screen, it is showing here single column. This is possible by our Visual Studio Code. Here, this is possible by VS Code. We can display all our output like this. Here, we are writing here this type of output like this. See here, this is one left side, first low content, here information. This is one heading, here one more heading, and this is one paragraph. Here left side one content, right side one video. So this type of two column structure, it is possible by our VS Code. Here this two column structure, it is by VS Code. Because of Visual Studio Code, you can display this type of two column structure. Next, if you go down, see here, this is two column structure. Here, this is one heading and one paragraph. This is also possible by here heading and content single column. Here also heading and content into single column. This is two column, one information and one paragraph. Sorry, one image. Here it is displaying one slideshow. See here, if I click it, it is going for the next slide. This slideshow, it is possible by here, this slideshow. Here it is displaying like this. This slideshow is mainly possible by jQuery. jQuery or a bootstrap coding, you can use it here, this type of slideshow. Next, after this, here you can pause and you can view the slideshow, or you can only click the selection. Here you can change your position. That is possible by a single column structure or a two column structure by responsive design. And this type of slideshow effect is because of jQuery. Because of jQuery, we can show you this type of slideshow effect. Next, you can display here four column structure. Here it is four column structure. It is possible by div tag. So we will use div tag is for division of the web page. For smaller screen, medium screen, according to the screen size, we will write our code. For smaller screen, bigger screen, very smaller screen, based on that, we'll write our code for our application. Here, next you can write it here. So in this time, I'm writing my content here. See, this is one VS Code. Here output. Left side, I'm displaying my content. Right side, I'm displaying this type of information. Here only you can see here one content, and here all four images. Here three images. This is also possible by our Visual Studio Code. Here, this is one more one. Here VS Code, new version, teams and all you can display. Here, once you click on this next button, see it will come like this. Here, this way you can display your output by our Visual Studio Code. Here, next one, here left side one information, right side one information. This is possible by VS Code. Here, you can find it here. Here, four column of information. First column, second column, third column, fourth column, fifth column, sixth column. 6 column of information it is displaying in within one row. This is also by div tag. Here, if you change your screen size, here, that column structures are converting into rows. See, the total column structures are converting into rows. This is possible by VS Code. Here, because of this Visual Studio Code only, we are converting that columns into rows. Here, this way only will execute our output. Okay. Here, I'm explaining here Visual Studio Code, a website, Visual Studio website. And this how the column structures according to the screen size, how it is changing and what all tags are involving here. Just I'm explaining. This is one heading type of content or a paragraph information, anchor tag information, column structure according to the screen size. These all possible by here div tag as well as with the CSS. Okay. Here now we are going with the pair tags. Here that list of pair tags are here, paragraph tag. Here dummy content in the paragraph, I can write it here lorem. If I write 4 words. If I write 10, see 10 words. Or if I write it here 7 words. Like this we can write it here all paragraph information. Next after this we can write it here div tag content. Here paragraph div tag as well as here marquee tag, table tag. I'll explain those in the separate program. So paragraph tag, div tag and remaining all I'll explain to you in the separate programs. Here I'm explaining here pair tags. List of all pair tags all will be like this. Here list of all paragraphs, paragraph tags we can write it like this. Here I'm using here p tag to display that paragraph content. Here div tag I'm using here to display that division of the web page. Div tag we are using here to display that division of the web page. Paragraph tag we are using here to display that paragraph content. Next I'm going for here how to display paragraph, how to display division. We'll understand paragraph normally you can display. Div tag how it will be helpful to divide our page into multiple parts that you will understand once I enter in CSS. Here this is the list of tags we are using. So these list of tags are also using in the real time. Here div tag is for division. Mainly div tag is for division of the web page. Here any type of division of the web page is by div tag. Here we are using here div tag to display that division of the web page. Here only you can check in this website, you can check it here. See, most of the tags are div tags only. See here. Just I'm taking one sample site and I'm showing you. Here in this time, if you check it here, see here total division of the web page. This is total body tag. In this, here inside the body tag, here script, here link and script and meta tags and all. Here division, div wrapper. Here first one is for, see selected area you can see here, header area. Header area, this black color one is one div tag, see here. This is for header area, one div tag. This is one more div tag for the entire wrapper content, for entire content of this site. Here under this content, here only the home content, sections, articles, SI tag. Here like this you can find. This is main content. Here it is div tag content and this is one more div tag. Here this is one more div tag. Next span content. Here one more div tag. This is one div tag. See here. Suppose if I delete this div tag, see here that part is deleted. So that blue color part, whatever it is displaying here, this particular part, you can delete it. Here total divisions of the web page is by div tag only. Here this is totally wrapper area to display that content. See here, color part is available, but the content what I am displaying here that is got deleted. Here, if you refresh, all will back. But here, mainly I'm using here div tag for division of the web page. Here, content will display here. This is one div tag. Here, one more div tag. Here, like this, nested div tags we can write. One div tag, inside of it, another div tag. Totally, how many parts, how many ways you want to divide your page, those many times you can use div tag to display that type of output. Here, every layer, you can make it into separate one. Every layer of the content, you can make it into separate one by using this div tag. Div tag, you can use it here to make it separate division. Okay, so this way we can display here that script tag we are using here to display that output. Here style tag, script tag. Here we'll use it here to display this type of output. Here, this is the way we can execute our program. Okay, here VS Code I'm using here. This site just I'm explaining here what all tags are using to develop this type of site. Okay, here in this example, I explain here how they are using div tag for division of the web page, how they are designing for creating menu bar, for creating slideshow, and for displaying the output in the paragraphs. Here, those all we are learning here in this site. So in the project session time, I'll explain to you how this site, how to develop any real-time application by using our subject knowledge. So using HTML4, using CSS2, using JavaScript, jQuery, how to design it, you will understand here. Here, how to use it here. Now you can understand here. Here, how to use this particular what all tags we will learn it under HTML4, CSS3, jQuery, Ajax, responsive design. Those all how to use it, how it will be helpful for designing our application, that you will understand under this. Here, I'm explaining VS Code, how it will be helpful to design our application, how to create our output with that. Those all you will understand under this programming. Here, up to now, I explained here one website, sample website, how it is designed. Okay, in the next session, I'll explain to you how to work out with the unpaired tags. Paired tags we discussed today, and I showed you some real-time example where we are using these all heading tags and paragraph tags where we are using, and div tag where we are using, I explained. Next session, I'll explain images, buttons, radio buttons, how the unpaired tag we can write and how it is helpful to designing our application. I'll explain to you. After that, we'll continue further into the next week. So generally in HTML4, first program is on pair and unpair. Second program is on block and inline elements. Third program on marquee tag. Fourth program on list elements, UL tag and OL tag. And fifth program on table tag, meta tag, anchor tag, frame set, and input elements and form tag. Like this, I'll continue HTML4 syllabus. Okay, so one by one, you will learn it. One by one, I'll explain it in the paint window. I'll write the total code. I'll explain it in the paint window. That same stuff I'll explain to you with a program in VS Code. So those two, I'll upload it in your drive. So that way, generally, I'll continue my syllabus. Okay, that way only, generally, I'll cover your syllabus. Okay, yes. Up to now, if you have any doubt, you can ask, please. Any doubts? Yes, any doubts?
Welcome to HTML is what size? What is size?
No size for that. If you write by default, without any tag, if you write any content, no size for that. Here, default browser given size only, it will display. Default. See, there is no size for this. No CSS. Here, for this type of output, there is no CSS here. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, if
Size.
you write the tag, then only CSS will be displayed. If you don't write the tag, there is no CSS.
Font size. One.
Font, nothing, no font size, nothing. If you want, you can write it with CSS, but here without a tag, generally we never write any content. We will write our content in between the tags.
Okay.
Yeah, H1, if you write it, see here, this is the font sizes. H2, if you write it, this will be the font size. H3, if you write it, this is the font size. Here, this is the font size generally will display. Okay, if you write this here, if you write like this, then only it will display that output. Okay, this is totally about the. Here, this way only generally I'll show you my output. This way only I'll show my explanation. One second. Here, we'll continue like this. Okay. Yeah. That's it for today. We'll meet tomorrow in the same link. Thank you.